Welcome to the Take It Home podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at DocSimmons17. If you like me and Zach as a tag team, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Country Air Official and on Twitter at Country Air Brand. By now, most people would have seen the news, so just want to start off with a congrats to the homie. Congrats on your engagement. Happy for you and Val. Much love to the both of you. But since he's not here, I begrudgingly give the hot tag to the monster of the group.
That is myself, Gunnar Wicks. You can find me on all the social medias at Gunnar Wicks. Pretty simple. I'll hand it off to my favorite referee.
Guys, I'm Ref Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV, # for the Ref brand, and Waffles. Take It Home podcast.
Very nice, very nice. How was the breakfast front? I did not have any waffles, just a simple breakfast of some grits, eggs, and sausage. That was really good.
Ooh. We had the once a year hometown pancake breakfast. And and I went there on Saturday, and as the saying goes, never miss a Sunday show. So I went Saturday and Sunday. I took down, I think, total consumption, maybe 7 blueberry pancakes and 4 chocolate chip pancakes.
Nice.
Lots of sausage links.
Gotta get that protein.
Oh yeah, and scrambled eggs, toast. I think day 2 I couldn't finish all the toast. But yeah, I think it was all like Piggly Wiggly's finest too. As good as it gets for some good breakfast.
They're good for one thing. That down home breakfast. Gunnar, how was your breakfasts?
Not as great as Perch's, but my breakfasts has mostly consisted of caffeine of some sort, usually some kind of energy drink, and Special K protein bar, strawberries and yogurt.
Ooh, that was going to be my question. Was it one of the fruit kind?
Yep. So like a lot of protein bars kind of taste like crap, the majority of them.
Yep.
But I found these Special K strawberry and yogurt protein bars. Get them in bulk. They taste amazing. And yeah, give you the protein in the morning.
Yep. High school wrestling season. Those were the ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
They also make like a chocolate one. I think that's pretty good, but I'm a berry guy.
Yeah, a little fruity. I've been doing Quest bars. Quest bars have been the way lately. Oreo or the cookie dough flavor are the go-to.
Those are kind of hit or miss with me. Some of them I've had are pretty good. Some of them not so much.
Yeah. Some can be pretty good. If you get like the brownie or the apple pie one, you throw in the microwave for a little bit. That's the way to go.
Microwave a protein bar?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Damn, I'll have to try that out.
Just a little bit. Just for a hot second. Just want it a little warm.
Yeah. Don't want to melt it.
Yeah.
A brave soul to try that for the first time.
I would give you that idea.
It's like I was not the one who initiated said idea. It was recommended to me by somebody else.
Do you know what would be a great protein bar flavor? Waffles.
Waffles would be a very good protein bar flavor. Quest, get on that. And then give us the money because Gunnar came up with it.
Some waffle and like maple syrup action. That'd be
probably be pretty solid.
All these cookies, they were like maple cookies, almost like Oreos, but it was like a maple leaf, two maple leaves and some cream. It tasted like you ate 2 waffles. One cookie was like 2 waffles.
Awesome. Perch, it's that time. Can you give us a banger of the week?
Banger of the week. We're bumping some good tunes over the weekend, and needed some coming back from a late Thursday show to get back to work early on Friday, and went back to the well and found some classic Wiz Khalifa. Pittsburgh Sound was the tune in particular. Man, hearing that one for the first time, blew me away. It blew my ears off. It was one of the greatest tunes with the beat and just, the storytelling on top of it that I had ever heard to that point. And hearing it just, the other day, it hit just as well as it did that first time many years ago.
Yeah, that was at a time where Wiz is unfuckwithable. He had a good run in those late 2000s, early 2010s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was just a good generation, a good era. Really peaked, that momentum and firepower he had going for those years leading in when he was at Summerfest one year for a free concert, and that place was more packed than I'd ever experienced in my life, but it was cool.
Yep, he was another one where I had seen him at Rock the Bells at some fairgrounds in Maryland. I can't remember now, many years ago, and he was on the small stage at the beginning of the summer, and by the end of the summer he was on that main stage.
Oh yeah, that's great. Great talent.
Yep, can't go wrong.
And if you haven't heard that one, it definitely constitutes for Only the Bangers Survive. That tune's surviving.
Definitely.
Pittsburgh sound.
Hey Gunner.
Howdy.
What you been watching, brother?
I think all I've watched from last time is the highlights of Raw last night. Which one of them was like absolutely amazing, by the way. There was a tag team match with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins against RK Bro against Alpha Academy. Mm-hmm. Like, I really want to go and watch that full match because the highlights were killer. That match looked amazing.
Yeah, I did see highlights from that match. Yeah, same.
It was good. Watching it took the whole hour, the entire hour. Yeah, it was good. Definitely a great way to start off Raw. Caught my attention and kept it.
Nice. Yeah. Freaking Chad Gable, super underrated. RK Bros, a fun tag team. Hard to miss. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, they're great.
That RKO on Chad when you went for the
moonsault,
that flip deal. Oh yeah, dude, that was. I always love a good RKO out of nowhere, and that one was great.
Yep. That was out of nowhere. My God, there were a lot of good hot tags and good fire ups, and the momentum changed so much throughout the match that by the time Gable was on top, he was running like a ball of fire. Did not see Randy Orton anywhere, and then all of a sudden, holy smokes!
Yep. Got to keep your eyes on the Viper. Always hunting. Perch, what have you watched?
Man, I got my mind blown by the AEW PayPerView just the other day.
Yes, sir.
I mean, great matches all around. I caught kind of a random order the first night, but went back and watched a couple more matches too. But the first night ended up catching the CM Punk and MJF. What a war! What a battle! CM Punk coming out to start it, but it was MJF just faking everyone out. So everyone got the cult of personality for a split second, just to satisfy the appetite, and then got to boo MJF, and then CM Punk comes out to that old school ROH entrance. I've still got goosebumps.
Nice.
I didn't experience him in ROH at the time, but have since heard stories, watched matches, more so heard other people tell tales. So to experience, him going back and fighting with that on his back was pretty damn cool. Really enjoyed. And MJF getting his was enjoyable too by the end of it. One of the greatest moments of pro wrestling, maybe of the year that I think, enjoyable as a fan was Moxley against Danielson. The lead up has been awesome. Leading into the match, knowing, how's it going to end? And it was so back and forth the entire time. One of my favorite parts, just the way they start out, the way Danielson will, manipulate a match. They're grappling and they fight and they're holding each other and they fall through the ropes. Danielson lands on top of Moxley, boom, and then they work their way back in, followed by Danielson pulling a gorgeous George and putting himself between the ropes so Moxley can't step in, just completely manipulating. On his end, he'll beat the shit out of him on his terms, but as soon as it's even playing field, he's going to back up to use the rules, for him. Just that simple psychology to set a hook at the beginning of a match. And then they throw the gasoline on it and then the fire and then just amazing. Back and forth the whole time, hard hitting. Danielson goes for a submission. Moxley goes for a pin. Suspect, to say the least.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was it had to end some way, and let's just say we're not talking about the pin because who cares who wins that one? They were even the entire match.
And especially if you have to give what happened next.
Oh, just the moment of all moments. They go right back to brawl, and the decision didn't make a difference. This was bigger than a match. And then all of a sudden, William Regal comes out, the man's man. It just the way he comes in and separates them. Moxley's still coming on strong, so he the way he backs him down, and then the subtle forehead, boom.
Yep.
Just Regal knows everything about the business. Maybe not everything, because we never do, but he knows just about as much to say he knows what to do in those situations. And he gives Mox a big old smack right to the face, boom, just like a couple of brothers fighting. Yep. And the dad comes in, smacks one of them, hits the aggressor first, and then you could see Danielson kind of smirking in the background, and then Regal calms down Moxley, and like he had eyes on the back of his head, he flipped 180 and smacked the shit out of Danielson. And that turned his smirk to, okay, oh boy. I mean, talk about relatable moments. We've all been there. Anyone who has brothers or siblings or anything, whether we've got it or we've been at a friend's house and we've seen them get it.
Have it. Yeah.
That just harkens back to real life and real, dilemmas. So that scene was still playing throughout my mind, today. So the simple moments of CM Punk fighting for what he was fighting for, Moxley and Danielson having their feud, Regal coming in and making a moment like that, that makes me so much more intrigued for what's to come in the future, as well as I'm happy right now. When they tie up things and leave you hungry for more. Wardlow, the way he turned at the end of that MJF, Punk, just the brilliance. I don't know where is it?
Up other pocket. My bad.
Tables turn. Of course.
That was great. That was great. That was where I was a little worried when he came out because I felt like, oh, they're going to turn him now. I feel that we could have run with this for a little bit longer with him having the championship shot, but God, that was perfect.
Oh, that was such a great, wrap up to how that match was going to end, and the way MJF smacked him last week, slapped him right in the face. And, when the time's right, you're going to want him in your corner. And he wasn't in your corner. Not about who you know.
Yeah.
It's about who will say that they know you.
Definitely.
And at that moment, Wardlow said he didn't know MJF. Great pay-per-view. Loved it. Loved it. And that's just 2 matches.
Yep. Don't worry. I'm gonna talk about some other ones. I'm talking about that Eddie Kingston Chris Jericho match to open up.
Ooh.
Get that old school Japanese Jericho. Eddie Kingston, well-known All Japan fan. Just had a great hard-hitting match. Want to shout out commentary, because if you saw it, Jericho hits the lion salt, comes down right on his eye. Now, peel back the curtain a little bit. That was not the plan. But commentary immediately is on and it's like, Jericho's aiming for the eye.
Precision. He's done that move a million times.
He knows what he's doing. He's aiming for the eye. And then he proceeds to work over that eye the rest of the match.
Yeah. That was great. That was great.
Just as a wrestler, just somebody who loves the workings of the business. That was just a great moment to see everybody come together to make that little error work. Great finish to the match. Intrigued to see where it goes, because I definitely thought Jericho was going to take the head. It seemed like that would be the moment.
I felt like a little kid at that moment. How much I enjoyed it. The pettiness. I can't change.
Yep.
I felt like a little kid watching, wrestling in the early 2000s right there. It was beautiful.
The Jade Cargill Ty Conti match. It's amazing to see Ty Conti now from where she was in NXT. Like, she is a bona fide top woman in that company. And they definitely used her as such in this moment, because this has probably been Jade Cargill's best match. I am a fan of her because she is a nerd too, especially if you saw that she came out in the Jade attire for this match. She's done Storm, she's done Miracle Row from My Hero. So I've always been a fan of her just for that. She's been green, but you can definitely see her improving, and especially when you hear who her trainers are, you can definitely now see their influences in her matches. You can see the Brian in how she works now. So it's very intriguing to watch her grow, and that was a very fun match. The other women's match, I really thought Thunder Rosa was going to pull it out this time. I thought this was her moment. But seeing that they're coming to San Antonio, she's got a chance to have the home crowd behind her. Her and Britt have great chemistry. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they tear it up in Texas, but that was one that definitely caught me by surprise.
I agree. I thought she maybe was gonna win or overcome.
Yeah.
But then the numbers just got to her.
Too much. Yep. Numbers have been too much. That's been the story. Britt has used her advantage effectively over the past year-ish, I believe.
And with that match coming right after that CM Punk match, it was awesome. You see Paul Turner hold up the title, and you can see the blood streaming down his arm because he went back-to-back matches. He had just done that dog collar match.
Yeah.
And then here he is doing the women's title match right after. That was good Paul Turner action.
Of course, Perch noticing and giving love to the referees.
Those are a couple of back-to-back Taraka a story.
Yeah, those back-to-back are probably exhausting.
And the safety that's involved into it, and the moments, and the precision to with what you're working with, the obstacle or the object, the chain itself, for as long as they went, and then to do the women's match right after as a more straight up high class pristine championship match. That was very cool to see Paul Turner. No stranger to 60-minute matches too.
Yep.
He's the man.
Not at all.
He's the man.
If there's anybody who could do it, it would have been Paul. Though Bryce did have a good night as well. He was very aggressive as people were getting in his face the whole night. I noticed. I had fun watching Bryce on Sunday. I did notice that. The tag team championship match, that triple threat. Wow. I don't remember who said it, but you talk about, a lot of people get on the influence of the Bucks on indie wrestling and think that they've made it very spot heavy and there's no storytelling. That was some good storytelling between them and Red Dragon the whole night in that match. It was just simple, classic. Hey, we'll work together. What are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I forgot. Psych, and the turn on each other. Got to talk about that. Top rope Rana to German suplex spot was just smoother than it needed to be. But just great match. Like I said, great story. Excited to see these Red Dragon Young Buck matches and steal everything from them. That's just how it is. What else? The main event, Adam Cole and Adam Page, the Adams. Let's go, Adam. It was a great match. That was a fun one for the fans. They were definitely into both guys. Good emotion with them trading, basically each other's signature moves or going for them. Good storytelling in that Cole hit the last shot or the boom, I believe it's called now. But he kept the knee pad up, so that's why Page was able to kick out. Always love that they don't forget that Page and the Dark Order are friends, so like the numbers game shouldn't be that much of an issue with him most of the time. So I'm very intrigued to see how they're going to take the title off of him and then keep it off of him in rematches, because numbers game seems to be a thing that AEW does do probably maybe too much, but they've established that does not work with Page. So I'm very intrigued to see what they're going to do with that. But yeah, great show. Also want to talk about Rampage for a moment, because goddamn, that triple threat to open up with Sammy G, Andrade, and Darby was freaking amazing. Got to talk about that superplex powerbomb spot. Just Andrade being a beast of a base and walking more than he should in that situation. The finish was like super logical for how high of a crazy spot it was. Great chemistry between those three guys. Triple threats are a freaking pain, and they just made all of that look so easy. So that was something else I really enjoyed. Been watching a lot of Danielson matches. I actually just before this watched Danielson versus Koji Kanemoto from Best of the Super Juniors, like 10 years ago now at this point, I think. Good one. Always fun watching young, angry Danielson. So more stuff to steal. Great week of watching wrestling, but let's get into the more important things of what we did this weekend. Perch, let's start with you.
It would kick things off on Thursday night in Chicago, Logan Square, but not the auditorium, down the block at Emporium, it was called, an arcade bar. The night before, I was thinking, man, I just want to get down on some NFL Blitz, maybe 99, 2000. First thing I see walking in, boom, Blitz 99. Got down with some Brett Favre, taking on the Redskins. A quarter for a quarter, so only $1 to play the whole game. It was a tie game going into overtime, and I looked to my left, and it was meeting time. So I had to get there. I know it was a cliffhanger.
Would it have made you pay another quarter for overtime?
Yeah, it would have been another $1.25.
Oh, damn.
And I had it for sure, but I looked at my oh boy,
Just off of principle, you can't.
I'm gonna be ducking in a little late here. I better not. Brett Favre was slinging. But no, it was an absolutely fun time. Being surrounded by arcade games was awesome. Tales from the Crypt, pinball, Space Jam pinball. It makes me feel at home, a little more nostalgic. Those are things that I love. Good old arcades and games like that. I would take an arcade over a modern system any day. And yeah, it was an awesome show, made for a cool backdrop. Holy smokes. Freelance on IWTV, freelance flawless. And it's funny because it was like a take on Mortal Kombat. And one of the TVs had Mortal Kombat playing in the background the whole night.
Hell yeah.
It was like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the bad one, not the one.
Yeah.
I'll give it to that original one. Just great, love it. But this one, stretching it. Luckily, we had wrestling to attend to, and it was a fun time. Great show overall. The main event ended up being Kylie Ray against Storm Grayson, and those two are on a very high playing field right now. Just firing on all cylinders. Really intense, and professional workers, and fun to be a part of that. We've had the pleasure of working with the both of them over the past few years. So it was cool to get a moment like that in front of a crowd who was into everything that night. It was a fair and festival type atmosphere. Very fun, very fun. And then the next night, fourth wall wrestling on Friday was also a really fun time. Enjoyed it. Ended up having the Doc Simmons match. That's always a pleasure whenever that comes around. And this time was no exception. It was always the random. It works out sometimes. It doesn't on others. But at the end of the night, you can always sit back and say, "Yeah, we got the Doc match tonight."
Yeah,
really
good to have you in there, brother. It makes it a lot easier.
And then got to watch the main event in that match of that night, which was Silas Young against Rough Crossing. I was really looking forward to that. A couple of guys I remember from Armani's shows several years ago, not working each other, but collectively or separately, putting on great pro wrestling in Milwaukee. So really enjoyed watching that match. It was really fun. A fun weekend.
Yes, sir. Then pancakes for the rest.
And pancakes for the rest. Exactly. Good recovery and pancakes.
Gunnar, how was your weekend?
Pretty good. Yeah, that fourth wall main event was the only match that I got to watch, like from start to finish, and that's probably my favorite indie wrestling match that I've seen in quite a while. Had a lot of good stuff in there, and two vets going at it. Obviously, it's going to be great. But I was just sitting in the corner by the sound guy, taking notes in my head because a lot of good stuff. But earlier that night, I had my own match against MFG. He's a Seth Rollins trainee. That match ended like they all do. Spear and the pin in a win for Gunnar Weeks. New tagline, putting that on the shirt now.
All right. Hashtag.
Yep. And then, let's see, the next night on Saturday, it was Zawa. Kicked off that show with Chucky, Killer Instinct against Country Air. Another banger of a match. Crowd was hot for both matches at Fourth Wall and Zawa, which is always much appreciated. Really helps you get through to the end. but that match did not go the way that I liked it to go. I'm sure Doc has other thoughts, but nonetheless, yeah, I'm sure you were. Banger of a match. It was great. Crowd was awesome, and had a really fun time.
Yep, somebody in the crowd bought a straitjacket for Chucky.
Yeah, the crowd there was like, I didn't really expect anyone to remember me from last time, but quite a few did. And then like even more, well, not even more, but like a couple dudes that went to BCW shows obviously recognized me there. And then another guy was even talking to me about seeing my matches online. This was the first time I got to see one in person. He was a big fan. So love the fans there. It was amazing. And I can't wait to be back.
Hell yeah.
Nothing like that Zawa crowd, for real. That's an awesome experience right there.
Yep, they make you feel loved for sure.
Or hated in my case.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and they would love to hate you. They'll let you know.
Oh, they
They'll
do.
be barking at you out of town.
Yeah, that's my weekend. So
hell yeah. You guys, I guess I was lucky enough to, spend most of my weekend with friends. Perch talked about my Friday. We were at Fourth Wall Wrestling, defending our golden jackets against a team of Corn Boy and Sabotage Sean, with very appropriate entrance songs for them individually, with Sean coming out to Sabotage and Cornboy coming out to Corn. Very on brand. I can't be too upset as Country Air comes out to Country Grammar. But fun match. There are also some Seth Rollins trainees. Black and Brave kids are always cool. It was a fun match, and more importantly, your boys retained our jackets. So looking forward to the next show in April, and we're going to keep this run going. Yep, Saturday was down at Zawa in, I believe, Sterling, Illinois, defending our Zawa Live Tag Team Championships against Killer Instinct. Always fun working you guys. I kind of wish you guys were still a tag team more often, but whatever. You guys are having your single success. I get it.
yep.
Yeah, and gotta love that Zawa crowd. I was super surprised at how much they've embraced y'all, and like I said, bringing the straight jacket with Chucky. They get it. They get it. So fun night, but luckily we were match one because I had to hit the road immediately with the guy I just kicked in the face, Chucky, to head to Columbus, Ohio for Impact Gut Check. Saturday night, Sunday morning, we rode out to Columbus, chilled at my homie's house who I hadn't seen in a couple of years, so much love to him. Slept for about 4 hours and drove over to the Arnold Classic. Just protein dust in the air. A super fun event. Ran into the homies, Victor Benjamin and Lady Frost. Always good to see them. And then ran into almost 100 people at this gut check tryout. I think the final number was actually 90. But it's good to see so many of the homies there. Riley, Isaiah, a couple of the Galley guys. So it was real fun time, great experience. I'm a huge Lance Storm fan, huge Team Canada fan. So to have him be leading the tryout was just great for me. Tryout was, done tryouts before. This one was no real big difference. You do your drills, you get your 5-minute match. I think this was probably the best tryout performance I've had, the most confidence I've gone into one, and probably the best performance I've put out. It was an awesome feeling afterwards to, walk up to Lance Storm and have him like halfway meet me and start with, "Hey man, I really liked your stuff." It's great feeling for me. You know, it's always good when, you know, the people that you looked up to and you loved in wrestling actually give you compliments. It's a rare thing. But and I just want to say Chuck and Fletch also showed out real well. Everybody liked Chuck stuff. People hated Fletch in the right way. You know, he was a good heel. We all got pretty good feedback and know the things that we have to work on so that we can win next time. Congrats to the homie Jason Hotch and Jack Price on winning the developmental contracts. You know, those are two guys we've seen around the way working hard. I've gotten a chance to work with Jason Hotch. He's a great guy, deserves it. He's another one that we see out there on the grind doing, you know, just as much as we do. Setting up, tearing down, just working hard for his opportunities, always working hard. So I'm really happy for the homie. But yeah, that was my weekend. It was an awesome time. And Perch, you talked about it a little, which is going to lead into our conversation this week. I have been on a bit of a old school arcade beat 'em up binge lately. I started playing Streets of Rage 4 last night, had a banger of a time, and that got me to thinking, favorite beat 'em ups. Like if you were to walk into you know, your old school sit down Pizza Hut, and you know they got probably like 2 arcade machines, and they were always beat 'em ups. What would you hope those? Let's go with 2. Yeah, let's go with 2 would be. Me, gotta go with the Simpsons arcade game for one of them. That was just an awesome one. I don't know why I love Marge with the vacuum so much, but that was my go-to character, just whacking people with a vacuum. I thought that was hilarious. Second one, a little rougher, but I gotta go with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade game. Another 4-stick cabinet. Huge Ninja Turtle fan. That is everybody goes with Turtles in Time, but I'm gonna have to go with that one as probably my favorite. Turtles beat 'em up. Hush. But yeah, those would be my choices. Let's go down the line. Gunner, what do you got?
You stole mine, Doc. Turtles in Time.
Turtles in Time?
Number 1 all-time favorite. I used to have that game for, I think, like Super Nintendo back in the day. And I like played that nonstop. It's so good.
It's not a bad choice. It's not a bad choice. It is a quality game.
I remember there'd be times where like I'd get like halfway through the thing and I'd have to go to bed, and then I'd keep the system on overnight.
Yep.
Because to my memory, there's no like save points or anything like that. So
Nope.
you had to do what you had to do.
Yep.
Keep the system on. Yep. Wake up early the next morning, hop back on. For the second one is a little tougher because for me that one's just like my favorite, like one of my favorite all times. But for the second choice, probably have to go with Double Dragon.
Okay.
I used to play that one back in the day in the arcade. I never got that one like on a home console or anything, so I don't have like as much experience with it.
Okay.
But seeing it in an arcade was always a special time. Good times.
Yep, I was a huge Double Dragon fan. I did have the one for regular Nintendo, the first one. Also had Double Dragon vs. Battletoads. I still have Battletoads for Sega.
But yeah, Battletoads is good too.
Yep. All right, Perch.
Nothing beats the Turtles, man.
Yeah, Turtles were the best though. Perch, what you got?
Yeah, numero uno would have to come in Fighting Force.
Okay.
That game with those 4 different characters just kicked ass. That game just exemplified 90s growing up, action movies, action video games, action, arcade games, blowing up, cars and smashing them and taking I-beams and cinder blocks, smashing people up. Yeah, Fighting Force would probably be, a top dog in there. Yeah, good call. The Simpsons one was a favorite back in the day. There was a Skate World back in Heartland, and they had that game. That was great. And they also had a Die Hard game, which was pretty damn good too. And then the Die Hard game got moved to the Hillside movie theater, where it lived for a while. I think where you could play it for free too, which was great. And that Die Hard game was damn good too. It wasn't anything to do with like the movie, but just as badass.
Yep.
Shooting people up and putting people in grinders and making them disappear. But always a sucker for a good cowboy shoot 'em up. There was one back in the day called like Sunset Riders.
Hell yes.
That game, hands down, like I would look for it everywhere. It's such a diamond in the rough, and I probably spent more quarters on that game than anywhere.
Yes.
in my lifetime and in quarter machines. Yeah, Sunset Riders, that cowboy game, shooting people upstairs, downstairs, all around the town stairs. Just a great one. When you mentioned shoot 'em up, that game came to mind right away.
Yep. Yeah. And I've been on a little bit of a obsession lately playing those. So what did everybody else's opinion? All right. Let's get into talking about what we've got coming up this weekend. I will go first. I'm headed to Mexico in a couple hours.
Nice.
Yep.
Nerd.
Yeah. Yep. One of my best
That's
friends
awesome.
is getting married. So I'm heading down to go watch the homie get married and stand by his side and be drunk. It's gonna be a good old time. I'll be back next week, early. But just gonna rest the body this week and have some fun. Let's go the reverse way down the line this time. Perch, what you got this weekend?
This weekend will be in Indianapolis, Indiana, for Warrior Wrestling on Saturday. You can catch that one on Fight TV. Then I'll be heading back in time as time's going forward, in some crazy paradox. But I'll get to Sunday, and we'll be in Chicago for Gali Lucha, which will be on Facebook. And that one should be stacked up too, with I think Psycho Clown on the card, and Arez is in town. Yeah, it should be a really good time at both Saturday Warrior Wrestling show and Sunday Gali show. Stacked lineups, really fun, good, wealth of knowledge on the shows, and I'm looking to get a lot of experience from either picking their brains or getting to work with them or watch them too. So I'm looking forward to it. It's no Mexico though, but
I'm kind of winning out on that front. Just this week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it should be a good time. Looking forward to it. Gunner, what you got this week?
You went out on me too, Doc. Unfortunately, no wrestling for me this week either. Got a lot of stuff to do though. Got to get the oil changed on the car. Got to get an emissions test. Should probably do the dishes, laundry, normal people stuff.
Yeah, got to get that car ready for Dallas.
Yep. Unfortunately, when I'm not wrestling, I have to do what everyone else probably does on the weekends, and that's actually be responsible. So that'll be my weekend.
Fucking bullshit.
Yep. Never ends.
All right. With that, let's go ahead and wind it on down. Perch, any final thoughts or questions?
Yeah, just the shout out to everybody who's watching, listening, and experiencing pro wrestling these days. As a as a fan and workers that we are, and students overall, we pay close attention to the wrestling business, and we pay attention to it on the daily. And the way professional wrestling is right now in 2022 is so far from where it was at 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I couldn't be more grateful to be in the position that we're in right here, to be living our lives, somewhat in the pro wrestling world, or using it as an avenue, using it as a school. Just couldn't be more grateful for the pro wrestling, business. But it takes all the people to make it happen: the fans, the workers, the students, the teachers. So a shout out to everybody who's in that business or around it, or loves taking photos of it. Everyone plays their part to make the entire ecosystem of the pro wrestling world survive. And get well soon, Muda and Triple H, and everybody else who's injured, and taking time off, because it's not fun to hop off the wrestling train, because it's so much fun when it's going on, and no matter what, it's not going to stop for you. But just know that with the right mind state, you can make pro wrestling, work for you, and make it the best it can be. It can be a great tool used for great things. But it's cool to have good homies around to experience it with. So thank you, brothers. And thank you, fans, and anyone who's listening.
Always. Gunner, final thoughts or questions?
I guess just a shout out to Zach and Val for their engagement. He has better things to do right now than be on this podcast. Hope he's having fun in a Disneyland or World or whatever Disney place he's at. But yeah, shout out to those guys. Hope they have a happy future.
Hell yeah, I'll second that. That's my that's perfect place. This has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. 1